Another quick update. As many of you know, I've already switched around over to the Milwaukee outdoor power equipment, and I really like these Quick-Lok attachments and heads there. And last week I found that Milwaukee started making an M18 fuel Quick-Lok brush cutter attachment. So of course I had to order it to finish out my set of Milwaukee tools here. And this is what it looks like opening it up. It just comes, a standard Milwaukee box. It does come with an extra strap though, which I really didn't need because I already had two of them. And the box is old man proof, made for 5-year-old to open, I guess. And let's get this stuff out of here. So it's basically like a string trimmer head that's actually made for cutting brush with a special blade. So there you can see, pretty much what everything looks like. Comes with the attachment and the shield. You can see the shield is completely different than the grass shield. Looks like they've used the exact same shaft and angle box on this. So when you put them side by side, they're identical. So I'm guessing they're probably interchangeable. And it's got the, the right angle shaft drive there. And then they give you a little safety device to add on there so you don't cut your toes off. And a couple pieces to mount the blade. And this is the new blade here. They're the straps I don't really need, but that's what the blade looks like. And it does come in a plastic protective case there, so you don't, I guess, get cut or nick it up or anything. And that's, again, that's an old man proof case made for young kids to open, I guess. But there's what the blade looks like. It's a, standard brush cutting blade. It is fairly thin, not a very thick one. It does have sharp edges on both surfaces, so you can flip it once one side wears. And the first thing you have to do is assemble it. Now there's a four screws supposed to come with it, but I only got 3 of them in the package, so I had to find another M6 screw, but that was no problem. So you can see I put that one Phillips head in there, and then you have to put on that shield there, the center Z thing, and then this cup goes on there. And then the nut goes on there, and it ain't gonna work. I'm turning it the wrong way. Actually, it's a left-hand thread, and I realized that after about 30 seconds. So I put it on there quick, and then I looked at it, and I realized, oh shit, I left that red cover on, so I had to just flip it around, and there it is, tightened up. There's a steel pin that locks it when you're trying to turn it. So that's basically the assembly. It took 5 minutes. And then that little guard goes on there. You take out the existing screws in the handle and replace it with longer screws, and the guard nuts go right in that guard there and tighten right up, and that's it. So it does have a little bit of a safety device on there. And then just like all the rest of the attachments, it just slips right in there and locks in place, and it's a 2-second switch over from tool to tool. Now I'll put it alongside the weed whacker head there. You can see basically they're about identical, and they actually are, pretty much identically balanced and everything else. These really are nice, smooth running machines that I really enjoy. And they did put that ring around there. See how there's no opening to get anything caught in there, which my old Echo's had a problem. Anyhow, I've been hearing trucks go by all day, and there goes a truckload of 20 tons of potatoes. They started harvesting the potatoes in the field down the road, the muck fields, today. And there goes another truck, another 20,000 pounds of potatoes. So it's, constant trucks of potatoes going by now. And there they are up against my Echo trimmers that I've been using for years now. And I haven't used these since I got the Milwaukee equipment, and I was hoping that a brush cutter would come out. And as you see, it did. And they pretty much are, identical in size and everything else. So they're real comfortable to use, and they're well balanced. So, I'm definitely going to be selling these pieces of these old Echo machines, and there goes 20 more thousand pounds of potatoes every 10 to 15 minutes. And there's what I mean by the echo getting stuff wrapped in it. Things would get wrapped in there and bind it up. So now it's time to just head down the hill and try to clean out my old rock here. Got a big rock behind all that stuff. It's been let go for about the last year and a half. I haven't been feeling really good after that vaccine. Having all kinds of problems. So, here it is going at it with the brush cutter. And it really does do a nice job. The blade is light, just as much power as the gas machine. Cuts the brush, no problem. One little problem I'll show you in a second is that little dome on the bottom keeps you from hitting the ground. That kind of hangs up on the stubs if you leave them too long. So you have to kind of tilt it a little bit. And there's that one tree in there. I'll show you in a second. I'll be taking that one down with it. This will cut up to about a 1-inch diameter sapling. And finally the bees are all gone and I can get in here and trim on this. Before it was all like goldenrod there, and it was just thousands of bees. So you can see it really, it's just about the same as using the gas one. No real difference in power or anything else. Okay, so there goes that tree. Let's see if we can cut it down. It does take a little while to cut that down, but that's an actual, over 1-inch diameter at the base tree there. So it does work good. And like I said, now I can actually dump all the gas equipment and just switch 100% over to the electric. This Milwaukee is just so comfortable to use and so powerful. So there you can see, there is a giant rock behind there, about a 9-foot long, 4-foot tall, 6 or 7 foot wide rock. And after trimming that little bit there's that thing I talked about. If that was a little bit shorter, it would make it easier. So what I found is you have to take and tilt the unit on the side a little bit to cut the stems down more. But once you do get used to using it, it's really easy. Does a good job. And well, here we are on the other side, and I kept running into problems and kept stalling on me. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? And finally, I found out there was a problem. Actually, you can't cut chicken wire with this. There's a piece of chicken wire that must have blown down from my garden last year in those high winds we had and stuff, and got wrapped in the trees, and there it is. So I'll just get that out of my way. So it really wasn't anything with the machine. It was just that wire there was causing problems. But these are all really thick dried branches and stuff, and this thing does do a good job. Very happy with it. So this pretty much completes everything that, I was hoping for in the Milwaukee set. I was, kind of watching for a brush trimmer head to come out for it, and I guess I missed it when they first released it, but, now I have it, and I'm happy. And again, let's still cut a little bit around the other side there. Now, you will see some sparks and stuff flying, because I did hit that stone many, many times with the blade trying to get close to it. But it didn't bend it or anything, just I'll show you, rounded the corners off a little bit. And I got that cleaned up, so I'm going to just switch over to the weed whacker unit. And again, you can see how this one here is basically about the same power as a gas weed whacker. Got about the same size path when you got the cutter turned around. And, it's just no noise. I can hear the radio running in the background, and, everything's fine with it. No smell. My wife doesn't care when I go in the house. I don't have to take my clothes off anymore. So, this electric equipment really does work good. And first DeWalt stuff that I tried just was not up to the task. But you know, the more I use this, I've used this Milwaukee over a year now, and it stood up good. And now we can start to see a little bit more of my stone there. Then I got this one tree here that's got a really big base on it. I just grabbed the pole saw attachment and put that on for a second. That's a good thing about this equipment. I can just throw it all in the back of the sidekick there and take it with me and just swap it out in a second. I don't have to bring a whole bunch of different equipment. I don't have to, you know, worry about starting gas engines anymore. I'm just going to cut that off, and I'm leaving enough sticking out there so I can come back down with my tractor and dig the rest of this out. I really want to get that root out. It's got about a 3-inch diameter root going down under the rock, so that's got to go. But in the end, you can see it's, you know, really had no problem just clearing this stuff up, and I just got to clean it up a little bit, rake it up, and it only took a couple of minutes with this stuff. Alright, so now let's look at the damage. The blade did wear some. Like I said, you can see those edges there are rounded, and apparently when you keep hitting the rock with it, it does round off the tips here, but no bends or anything else. Sharpness still there, so looks like it's gonna last just as good as the old Echo blades did. And I really like that you've got that guard you can snap on it when you're done. So let's look at what we use in the way of power. We used 1 bar for doing all that around the rock there, which I don't feel is that bad. This is an 8 amp hour battery, so you know that's not a problem at all. So I just got some more brush growing back there, but you know this is just thin stuff in the weed whacker. You can see that weed whacker just handles it no problem. That's just a monster. It's so comfortable to use, and you can see how well balanced it is. So I'm done down here, but before I go up, I thought I'd show you one other Milwaukee item that I grabbed recently, and that's a radio for Gizmo. I'm looking for a radio for it, and all the ATV ones are so expensive, and they're just a permanent mount wiring thing. I decided to go with this little M12 radio from Milwaukee that runs on batteries, and I built the mount that it drops on. You can see it's got Velcro on top and a Z-bracket I made for the bottom that locks into the molded piece in there, so I can take it with me. I can you know, lock it in Gizmo, take it wherever I want to go, and when I get there I can just take it out and carry it with me, and I can use it anywhere. So and that's another Milwaukee item that really does sound good for a little tiny radio, and I'm happy with it. And there it is, all of my Milwaukee stuff now. And I will say it's not really cheap, but it's well made, it works good, and I feel it's worth the price for what I'm doing. So now let's stop over at the game camera. I moved it down here and figured, oh, there go a couple deer last night. So it looks like they're still hanging out down there. And there goes Gizmo by. So for those leaf peepers watching this video, we'll go up to the top of the hill and I'll show you what our yard looks like now. Starting to turn some color, a lot of browns though, and the leaves are just turning brown and falling off. A couple orange ones there and stuff, but that's it. We're you know, we're almost ready to start leaf cleanup, another week or two. So in the end, I just wanted to show you, you know, just how well this works and how you can actually replace your gas-powered equipment with it if you've got a yard. And I'm doing 10 acres with it, so you know it does say a lot. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.